Hello, Battlesport people. You're used to watching my Satisfactory videos. Well, guess what? I've got a new game I'm playing, and I love it. It's called Dual Universe. It's pretty early beta, and you can see from these shots here that it's not very refined yet. Though I will say that this planet doesn't seem as finished as the others I've been on. This one is called Jago, and I just landed here, and I'm going to build a new outpost. And so I'm going to build a video about me doing that to show some of my friends a little bit about how this game works. Because a lot of the videos on the YouTubes are, well, for one, they're very good. And so I'm going to make no effort to do that. But mostly they're pretty specific, like how to use voxels or how to build a ship or how to do this or how to do that. This is just kind of going to go over game flow, how the game kind of goes. Now, this is not going to be how your initial experience is going to be. Your initial experience is going to be a grind unless you know somebody like me who's already worked their way through it. And then you can skip a lot of that, although there's a lot of learning curve in this game, kind of like EVE Online, if any of you have ever played that. So going through that initial grind can be useful, if you're interested in learning that way. So I have my enhanced HUD turned on so you can see the edges of the territory tiles. Now every planet in this game has territory tiles, and you can claim most of them. A lot of them are already claimed by people or by the game. But you look at the map here and you can see all these hexes. And the whole planet is covered by them. And those little red ones are hexes claimed by other people. And I don't know anybody on this planet, so there won't be any green ones, I don't think. But if you see any green ones, those are either owned by you or by the organization you belong to. And I'm about to claim one here because this planet has resources that I want. Now in the future, they're talking about adding territory combat, so people could take over this hex eventually. And between the fact that I'm bad at PvP and I don't have the time to defend territory, I don't know how long I'll be able to hang on to this, but I don't see it as a big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and claim this tile. So the way you do that is you have tools in this game. You go into inventory, and these are your basic tools. Now these bluer ones are for when you are in build mode. That's when you're building a construct, and a construct is a building or a ship or space station. And these lighter gray ones are when you're not building a construct. And you don't have enough spaces for all of these, so you kind of gotta move stuff around when you're ready to use them. And if you decide to play, you'll kind of figure that out. You'll decide how you want stuff arranged. But the one we're looking for is deploy ground element. So I'll hit 5, and you see on the right there, I've got some, what do you call it? Quick access, like stuff. And one of the things I already have in there is a territory unit. So I'm going to plop that down. See, will be claimed after 15 minutes. I forgot about this. That means I'm going to have to pause and edit videos or something, because nobody wants to sit around and watch me do this for 15 minutes. You know what? I can show you mining while we're doing that. But anyways, it takes 15 minutes, and then this will become my tile. Now, owner. I can name this, and I should probably name that. Oh, just me. But if I owned an organization, I assume I could claim it for the organization. But I don't. So I will be the owner of this tile. Boom. There is my ship that I built. It is a masterpiece, and nobody's allowed to make fun of it because it is super beautiful. I'm just kidding. It's not beautiful. But it works. It lifted does it have in it? 240, almost 240 tons off of a 1G planet. I don't know if they did their math right for lifting cargo off of planets, because it's super way easier off of a half a G planet than a 1G planet. And it's not like half as difficult, it's less than half as difficult. I'm not really sure where that comes from. Anyways, and I have put no skills into flying or into ship construction, so the fact that this guy managed to slug its way off that planet with that much cargo is impressive to me. So we'll do some mining while we're waiting. I'll show you that process, and I'll probably, oh goodness, edit some of this out. So you do this ping tool, and then you want to move in a direction, and these dots with the lines represent time and distance. And the lower the dot goes, you see the numbers on the right there, the closer it is. So you want to kind of move around until you get, I'm going to try and find that closest one. I think I parked right on top of it, because I meant to do that. That's pretty close, wasn't I? Pretty close. Yep. So then you can increase the sphere size using the controls. I'm not going to bother explaining to you all the basic controls. It's something you can figure out if you decide to play. Dig down, and that dot should get closer. Yep, getting a little bit closer. Not much, though. So if you turn on your flashlight, you also get this elevation degrees and your compass on top, which is handy when you're underground, because this, as you can see, the graphics for the dirt is pretty monotonous. It's pretty hard to tell what you're pointing at. It's the wrong direction. I'll probably end up editing a lot of this out. Nobody wants to watch this. I hate mining, but I do it because I need stuff. The guy we started with that mines has lost interest. Can't blame him, since he was doing this. Ooh. There we go. So that's roughly about as close. Oh, I found it. But that's about as close as I like to get before I switch to this other tool, the scanner tool. And the way this works is you aim it around, and this color shows up, depending on what kind of ore you're looking for. And I'll wave it around a little bit. See, it went away, so I'm not aiming at it anymore. But pretend like I still couldn't see it. I mean, oh, it's over in this direction. And the sound, the beeps show up before the color does. So if you're using this tool, it's best to listen versus just look for the color. And you can level up skills that improves that process. But I found it, so. And then you can hold down your, or you can click your center mouse key, and this turns on to, for lack of a better word, it holds down your left mouse button for you. And you might notice when you start playing that your process for this is not nearly as fast. That's because I have put some points into mining. Even though I hate doing it, I feel like if I can put points into it, I can make it not take as long, and therefore I can hate doing it less. So you don't have to clean off the edges, but as you'll see, that can sometimes be a good idea, because sometimes you can leave little pockets of this ore in here. And the reason that's the problem is when you're scanning for it, those show up, and there's no way for you to differentiate between, 10 liters of ore and 1,000,000 liters of ore on your ping tools. And you see the little specks of green way up top? That's a little remnant. It looks like I got it, but a lot of times those end up getting left behind and you don't see them. So I like to clean around a little bit of the edge and then just kind of go at it and see what I've got. When you're starting, I recommend you clean off all the edges of the ore until you kind of get a hang for how this whole system works. It's a little janky. In the future, they say they're going to have machines that are going to automate mining. I cannot wait for that. Hopefully there's not a whole lot of messing around with those things. Hopefully you can kind of just plop them and let them run. Just like they do in Satisfactory. Careful what you wish for though, right? Because they're talking about adding power management too, and that doesn't exist in the game yet, so you can run as many factory machines and ships and guns and everything else you want, so long as it fits inside of the little build cube, which you'll see here in a little bit. 15 minutes, as a matter of fact. Actually, I'm not going to make you wait 15 minutes. I'm just going to do this. And then come back to you. Yeah, see how it's disappearing into the dirt back in there? A lot of times the ore node, the vein, will turn corners and you won't see it. In fact, it looks like that one kind of did turn a corner up. Yeah, it didn't turn enough to matter, but sometimes it will. It'll turn left, right, up, down, all the above, and if you just mine straight back, you may not see it, and you'll think you got it all, but sometimes you don't. And again, the reason that's a problem is because you'll leave remnants, and it turns into a big pain in the ass trying to hunt that down. Now this is my tile, so I'm going to want to be cognizant of how much damage I do to the land mining, because as of right now, that damage is permanent. It never goes away. Now there's things you can do to fix it, like you can keep this dirt. In fact, I might show you that too while I'm down here messing with this. See? See how it left a remnant? Now, unfortunately, they make you place the dirt in stupid spheres, but the tool's there. The tools are there for you to terraform a bit. And I can't help but assume they'll make it better as the game gets closer to release. We'll see. We'll see how much people care. Seems like most people just want to build ships. Now, if you look at the little data readout on the top right there by the compass, you'll see an elevation that says 92 meters. That's sea level. And once you get below sea level, no matter where you are on the planet, you end up underwater. I don't know if that's going to stay with the game or not, but as of right now, it's part of the game. I hate it. I hate mining underwater. Especially like at our home base where we're in the mountains. So we absolutely should not hit an underwater sea or an underground sea where we're at. But you do, go down to 0 and you hit one. Okay, well, I think I got it. Looks like I did. So let's check. This is the ping tool, and the node always shows up right away for some reason. So if you see that, now see how it shot way up? That's actually a different node it's picking up, but it makes it look like it's the same node. So that means I cleaned it all out. Another thing that can happen is if you don't have any of these other types of nodes in range, is the dot will actually move to the left on the graph with no line connecting it to the right edge of the graph. That's your time ticking away. So that node is in the past, essentially. That also means that you got the whole node. So if you want to keep dirt, you go into your inventory screen, and I have a linked container that's on my ship, and you click on this, keep non-precious ore. That's dirt. We're talking about dirt. And you can mine your dirt. You see on the bottom there, it says I'm collecting soil. Now you might think, why in the world would I want to keep soil? Well, that's because you're going to dig holes in your territory. And at some point, you might want to hatch those. So to undig dirt, you just hold down your Alt key. Sorry, hold down your Alt key here. And you're putting it back in these stupid balls. But it works. You can do that, and then you can use the level tool. And you can level it out. That's what you want to do. Or you can use the, oh, I don't have it in there. Kind of what I was talking about earlier. The, what is it? Smooth tool. And you can smooth it out. So you can patch up the surface of your territory after you've dug a bunch of holes in it by using this tool set. Okay. And go to the surface. Let's see how our territory unit is doing. I see that some time has passed according to my little recorder indicator dealy. Everybody has a little bit different method for getting in and out of these tunnels. One method I saw on the YouTubes, this guy put a resurrection node on his ship, and he just forces respawn back to the ship. And that works great. If you've got a dedicated mining ship and you're just out there mining, that's a great way to get back to the ship. But I don't have a resurrection node on that ship because it's not for mining. And I haven't actually built anything on this brand new tile of mine yet, so that wasn't available to me just yet. Where did I put my thing? I feel like it was over here. There's my thing. Oh good, we're almost done. This video is going to be longer than I thought. This game is a huge time sink. So if you're not into this type of game, obviously don't play it. And if you don't have a ton of time to sink into it, don't play it. The good news is that it's fairly casual. So you don't have to put a ton of time into it. You just will if you like it. Unless you're like the people who started this game with me, who have already lost interest. But to be fair, I think they burnt themselves out by playing too much early on. Okay, let's see if I can put my core down. Now, cores are how you build things. It's how you build everything. There's static cores, dynamic cores, and space cores. Now, static core is for things like buildings. Dynamic cores are for things like ships, and space cores, I assume, are for buildings and or ships, but only in space. And I'm not sure what the advantage to a space core would be over a dynamic core. But whatever. Ah, yes. So this is a large core. When you first start, a large core is going to seem like a lot of space. But trust me, it's not as much as you think. Especially if you're trying to land on a pad you've created on a large core with a ship moving at several hundred kilometers an hour. So, I'm not 100% sure where I want to put this. But that seems fine. Yeah, that seems fine. Now, oh, I can only give it to myself. Well, after it's placed, there's a process where you can transfer ownership to your organization, because you, as a player, can only have so many of these cores. But an organization can have... unclaimed. Might have to lock. Yeah. Let's try relogging. This game is glitchy. But it's still early beta, so, those things are to be expected. It's not as refined as Satisfactory, but there's way more to this game than Satisfactory or Minecraft. Actually, I never played Minecraft, so I can't really make that claim, but it seems like there would be a lot more to it. Let's see here. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm going to pause this video and figure out what's going on.